for all.
And Mike, you want to lead us in a prayer? Yeah.
Well, I'll start with saying, dear God, and thanks for giving us great health and great ability and great awareness to be here today, and hope to have a great meeting and a safe passage home. And a prayer should go out to all the 9/11 victims and family members that had to endure a horrible day 22 years ago. They're going to bed tonight after losing lost ones and not knowing their whereabouts, and I think we should have a moment of silence and a deep prayer for those people. And I'll end it with that, with an amen and a moment of silence.
Okay. And clerk can call the roll.
Sure. Trustee Bonomo?
Here.
Trustee Shake? Yes. Trustee Rivera? Here. Supervisor Ballich?
Here.
We have a quorum. Sorry.
Public comments, any?
Yes, we do have Shirley Crafton.
Hi,
Hi, Shirley.
I'm Shirley Crafton. I just have a request. About maybe a year, I'm not sure if it was on toward 2 years ago, I requested a paper that would show how much everybody makes in the township, and it was given to me, but it was very confusing, and it didn't just say column by column what I am spending on your salaries, me and all the people in the township. And so I just would like to request that I also did it for the village, and asked them, and theirs came out perfect. It was in columns. You knew exactly how much everybody made, how much they got for insurance, how much they got. Could you borrow their software or something? I mean, I think it should be I think that it would be very easy to put in a manner that's very understandable, that we can look and say, you make this much, your bonuses or your perks or whatever, or insurance, but in the end, it's all in a one line by your name. You didn't have to go through everything and figure it out. That's just a suggestion I'd like to see.
Shirley, can I get your email address, please?
Sure.
If you wouldn't mind putting it
Yeah,
on there. Normally, we do that through a FOIA, but since you're requesting it,
I think
will-
it's
Not just for me, for anybody that
Yeah,
asks for it in that
I
format.
think it's on our website.
Yeah.
I don't think in that format.
Yeah, well, that's okay. If you want to go ahead and put down your email address, and I'll get you something, okay?
I think that's how it should be for,
Thank you, Shirley.
to make it simple so that everybody can understand and know, and know how things are.
Okay, is that your only comment, Shirley?
It is.
Oh, great. Thank you.
For now.
Okay, now we'll move to Clerk Vicki Bozen's report.
Sure. I, first of all, would like a motion to approve the August 14th, 2023 monthly township board meeting minutes.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, motion passes. Secondly, I wanted to just make a statement that we are seeking volunteers for the Senior Lifestyle Expo. We do have a volunteer application online, and I'm hoping to get anywhere from 20 to 30 volunteers. We have also reached out to the schools, and we're hoping that some of the students, I should say, that need volunteer hours for graduation, hopefully they will be applying, because I know a lot of set up and tear down. We're gonna need a lot of kids for that. And one more thing I wanted to bring up to the board in particular, because we had applied for the parade, for the Homer Township Parade 3 times to the Village of Homer Glen. And unfortunately, we have been turned down 3 times for the parade application, which is kind of shocking to me because we did work with the village to put this parade on. And I thought it was very successful. And the mayor herself has been the one who has rejected my application 3 times. And I'm just curious that when we spend money as a township, we go before our board and we ask them if we could spend certain dollars on events or whatever we need to purchase for the township. And I'm just curious why this hasn't gone in front of the Village of Homer Glen Board for a vote, because if someone's gonna be spending our money, I think the trustees or the aldermen or, who's ever in charge should have a vote as to how the money is being spent. And there should be some transparency for our constituents. So if she is personally, shutting us down for the parade, I feel it's important to go in front of the board and let the board make the decision, because this is money spent. So we spent about $5,000 on the parade. We had absolutely zero income on there, it was all expenses. And we were very conservative with our spending, I feel. So, and that's just a comment I wanted to put out there. So
How many years has the township run the parade?
I want to say it's been like almost 20 years.
The last 20 years?
It's been
Yeah.
22
Yeah,
years, I think.
yeah, so it's been,
So this will be the first time in 20 years that we
Yes.
have been unable to
yes.
operate a
And
parade.
again, this was something that we did in conjunction with the village. It wasn't just Homer Township putting it on. It was a group effort. It was a joint effort. It was, I love the fact that we were able to work together and accomplish a lot of things, So it's just kind of a little disappointing, for one person to think they can just shut us down and not be accountable for their decisions. So
Did she provide any reasoning why she done this?
basically that she wants to have her own parade. So, anywho, so that's just a little information for the board and for our constituents, so they know kind of what's going on with the parade situation, okay?
Thank you, Vicki.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Vicki, and before I move to my report, I just want to add, Vicki, the reason the township has to have permission from the village is because the streets are in the jurisdiction of the village. And so if they won't give us a permit for a parade, we can't have a parade, because we can't use their streets without permission. So that should be a board vote, but obviously it hasn't been there. But anyway, moving forward, supervisor's report. You guys wanted, you said somebody gave me a note.
It's, well, Rob's got it, it's on E, but
All right.
do you want to do it now?
Yeah, it's under my report, so if you're gonna change something, you gotta do it.
As an amendment, when I change that.
Is to amend, to add, create a task force to update the inventory management system, including all the tools, supplies, and equipment at Founders and the Manus Garage.
Could you read that again, because I couldn't understand you?
To amend, to create a task force to update the inventory management system, including all the tools, supplies, and equipment at Founders Crossing at the Manus Garage.
Okay.
Okay.
Pass that over to me if you don't mind, just so that I have your exact wording. Thanks.
Okay, and so,
And that would be for E?
Yes.
Okay.
so we need, are you making that motion, then you need a second?
My second.
Okay, so Rob's first, and then Angel, your second? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and take a roll call for that. Trustee Bonomo?
Yes.
Trustee Rivera?
Yes.
Trustee Shake?
Yes.
And Supervisor Ballich?
Yes.
Okay, so that motion passes. So E is amended as was said by Trustee Rivera. Thank you.
Okay, and then I need a motion to approve the creation of a Founders Crossing Task Force with Angel Shake and Mike Clausen.
I'll start that motion.
Any second?
Second.
Trustee Rivera? Okay. I'll go ahead and take a roll call for that. Trustee Rivera?
Yes.
Trustee Shake?
Abstain.
Abstain, okay. Trustee Bonomo?
Yes.
And Supervisor Ballich?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
Okay, and one of the main things for that is so that we have somebody watching this stuff, oversight for the township, because we're starting the process of repairing the senior housing. And I want to make sure that somebody's watching the people that are doing it, who are doing a good job. I'm sure they're all professionals, but I just want to have a extra set of eyes on it, you know, with our people personally. So that's what that's about. Okay, next we have a discussion of RFQ for architectural and engineering services for the Trantina Farm Civic Center. So you guys have in front of you the only bid that went out, and I was told by the people that run the federal program for ARPA, for that money, that grant money we got, that if we don't get 2 bids, that we're allowed to go with the only bid we got. So the only bid we got is in front of you, and so I looked at it, and Clerk Boza looked at it, and we didn't see any problems with it, but obviously we had nothing to compare it to, but the company is a good company, and I couldn't find it when I Google it and stuff, I can't find anything wrong with it. So the reason why that we have to move so quickly is because we had to stop the project before, because it was costing too much money with the way it was going, and we had to change everything. So the money has to be spent, and the work has to be started before the end of 2024, or the federal government gets the money back. So we're under a kind of a time frame that we have to do it, and that's why the 1 bid is just fine. So,
Any discussion?
any questions or?
No, actually, my comment is I'm excited about it. I think it's a great thing for the community. It's a great, you know.
Are you guys okay with it?
I haven't had a chance to review all this yet.
I know it's a lot of stuff. We emailed it to you guys too, but,
No.
I have,
There was someone
so I
who-
just have a quick question.
okay.
So if you look at, this is in our packet, from N. Bastich Architects, and they have like different buildings, I'm assuming these are different buildings they've worked on, right?
Right.
Okay, so just to get a scope in my head, how long this is gonna take, we're going with the basic building, correct?
So you have it right here kind of outlined.
I see that we have this, right, no, I have that, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying, so I mean,
So just
it's
a basic.
right, so
Yes.
it's not, so basically, I'm just saying, this is something that they, like, from start to finish, like, we could get an idea what, you know, how long
Correct.
it's gonna take them, right?
The idea is to get the building built, and that way, once we have the building, then our seniors can start having their meetings in there, because we're outgrowing where we're at.
Perfect.
And then, as we go along, we'll add on, because we want to have special needs basketball in there for wheelchair children. And we want to eventually have a little kitchen in there. There's a lot of stuff we want, but them are wishes.
Right, so we're
And-
gonna get our building up within the budget that we
Yes.
have, right? And then they can have everything set for whatever we, you know,
Right.
can get approved
We have-
later.
We had to approve this to
Right.
start the process to go forward.
Got it.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve the RFQ for architectural and engineering services for the Trantina Center?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Can we move this a little bit later into?
Pardon me?
Can we go to the vote in a little while? on
I
this?
can't understand your,
Can we move this vote till a little bit later? So I can
Yeah.
just take a quick peek through this real fast?
yeah,
Please,
Okay.
thanks.
All right, so,
okay, we'll hold off on that. We'll move it to the,
We can do it right before that.
we'll move it to, let's see. I'm trying to find it.
How many architectural firms did we reach out to bid?
We put it on the website, and then we put it out in the newspaper.
Did you get anybody like inquiring about it? Nobody?
What news?
And probably the reason for it, I think this gentleman, this company is more of a local company.
Mhm.
And I think the bigger companies find it too small of a job, maybe, I don't know. But we can move it, we can re-vote on that after new business. I mean, before new business. All right, so that'd be after the accounting.
Do you want to make that motion then to move it to 12A?
12A.
12A?
And I think if there's no objection, I think you can just do it.
Just
by-
do it?
Yeah,
Okay.
informally by
Okay.
agreement, as long as there's no
Yep.
objection.
No objection. Okay, sounds good. All right.
Okay. Okay, then, informational, in honor of the governor signing a bill making the month of October Italian Heritage Month, we'll be raising the flag, the Italian flag, on October 1st, 2023 at 3 p.m., and everyone's welcome. So that'd be in front of our township. And at that, we'll have County Executive Jennifer Bertino-Tarrant, and we'll have State Rep Anthony DeLuca, who was the one that got the governor to sign the bill. And then we'll have State Senator John Curran, and I think that's going to be it. Oh, I forgot County Board Member Jim Richmond, my counterpart. Okay. Motion to approve duties of trustees.
We did that already. Remember, they amended it. They
No.
amended it to add this.
Oh, you wanted to move all of E, or just,
You were just amending E?
We were amending it to add
They're adding
that
this.
into it.
all right, we'll do E later.
This,
Okay. All right, then we have,
E done?
no, it's not.
we're gonna go to 12A.
I took the motion to be to amend item E, so now I think
We need
you're
to-
intending to take official action on it.
Okay,
right?
We're
fine.
gonna do it.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
We can do it now. We can do it now, Steve. That's
To
fine.
approve as
Mark, Rob's
amended.
not ready yet.
He's not ready. He's
We're
not
not
ready for
ready
C.
to vote on C.
He's not ready to vote on C, but he's ready to vote on.
So it's
You're ready
this
to vote
plus
on E.
that. It's this plus that. The amendment adds to this.
Okay, motion to approve the
The duties of trustees.
the duties of the trustees, auditing all the bills and records, budgets, levies, spending, township funds, and evaluating inventory needs. All bills, receipts, documents, contracts, credit card bills, and access to QuickBooks are available to any trustee during any business hours. The board may, at their discretion, ask the supervisor to create a task force to specifically address any aspect of these responsibilities. Management of our township resources are being used to deliver the best possible services to our community. And that's what
And
the
then we're-
amendment
yeah.
is to
Yeah, for create.
amend to, they're just adding this, to create a task force to update the inventory management system, including all tools, supplies, and equipment at Founders and the maintenance garage. So when we do that, they're asking for a, so first we're gonna vote on that with the amendment.
Right.
So
So-
I need a motion to vote on the motion plus the amendment in it.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
And I'll second the motion.
And we need a roll call.
Sure. Trustee Shake,
Yes.
trustee Rivera,
Yes.
trustee Bonomo,
Yes.
supervisor Ballich.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
Then it's not on the agenda, but from this here, you're asking for a task force, and I would recommend that, well, I'm gonna say, we'll create a task force and we'll have the entire board, all the trustees on the task force. And basically, so everybody knows, the stuff that we read off, that's out of the handbook that we get from Township of Illinois, indicating all the duties of a trustee. So it's not nothing new, it's just already in the book, but we're restating it. Because we updated our employee manual a while ago, and this is just updating what the duties are, we're just saying exactly what it says. So, we did a motion a second.
Right, and then now we're just doing a new motion for the task force, and all the trustees would be on this task force. So this
That's a separate motion.
is a separate
Yeah,
And I'll
motion.
start that motion.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay. And I'll take a roll call. Trustee Shake,
Yes.
trustee Bonomo,
Yes.
trustee Rivera,
Yes.
supervisor Ballich.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
Okay, The next thing on the agenda is, do you have a question?
No, we're good.
Okay.
You guys, all right. All right, then the next thing is status on Hadley Road. And we have, the road commissioner, Rem Porfilio, and Assessor Carmen Morella and myself, we went to the village last week, and we told the village that our road district is willing to take over the road at Hadley Road, because the county's putting in an expansion on the road that is basically bringing in trucks, bringing in more traffic, bringing in what the people over there don't want, and they have like 100 driveways. But anyway, we went there and we told them. Then after we left, at the end of their meeting, the mayor announced that, they didn't vote on it, but the mayor announced that they're gonna do it. So none of the trustees voted on it, it was just announced that they are. And I think, you know, that wasn't the way things should be, but whatever, if they're gonna do it, the township will just back off, you know, the road districts go, fine, but if they're not gonna do it, then there's a problem, because we're not gonna see these people get hurt by it, because there's a real lot of, like 5 subdivisions that are affected by it. Mr. Porfilio, our road commissioner, can give a better synopsis than I can.
Okay. So I'll try to start from the beginning for anybody that doesn't know what's happening. So the Will County Department of Transportation has jurisdiction of the Parker Road and Hadley corridor, which is basically Parker Road starting in the south at Route 6, and it goes north to Chicago-Bloomington Road, then it turns and it goes east all the way over to Wolf Road. So along that entire 4 miles, it's County Highway 1, and the Will County Department of Transportation maintains it. Now, what they did is they went to the federal government to get grant money to improve the road, because they said that it needs to be replaced because of its age. And in order to get federal money, you basically have to follow the guidelines that the federal government puts on the money, which means standardizing the road. So when you standardize a road, what do? There's a lot of things that you would change in the road from what they wrote in their Phase 1 report, which I guess was posted a couple of months ago at a public hearing. So anywhere you have any vertical alignment changes that are sharp for sight distance, they want to flatten the road out. Wherever you have a sharp curve, they want to straighten it out. And they want to add wider pavement, they want to add curb and gutter, they want to add sewer in the corridor. They want to take land from the property owners, some more than others, to accomplish this. And so all of the residents went to the village of Homer Glen last month, and they said, we don't want it changed. We want it the way it is. That's why we moved out here. It's a rural road, which it is. It's a rural collector. Like Steve says, really, if you go along the alignment, all you see are driveways. There are a couple subdivision roads that tee into it, but that's about it. So it's a collector. So collectors typically have minimal truck traffic. So what the residents want is, they said, hey, the county isn't listening to us. They want to change the whole character of the corridor. What can we do? Steve and I got together with the people that were at the meeting, after the meeting, and we talked to council, and we looked into it, and we had suggested to them petitioning the county for the road district and the township to take over the corridor, because in my opinion, it can stay the way it has been for, I think it's over 50 years old. So if it's not broke, don't fit, you know, you don't need to change anything. So after that, this whole corridor is in the municipal limits of Homer Glen. So the only way for the county to give up jurisdiction of the road is to give it directly to the village. So if the village wants it, then, you know, Homer Township would support it, but only if they leave it the way it is right now, and they leave it alone and don't change anything. From everything that I've heard, they want to improve the road. So what does improving the road means? It means the things I just said. Straightening out the hills, straightening out the curves, putting in sewer, widening the pavement, putting in curb, taking properties, pieces of properties along the corridor. And what that does is when you standardize a road, it does a number of things. The speed limit goes up, the number of trucks, basically the ones that go from the east to the west over to Center Point Properties in Joliet, it's generating trucks at an exponential rate. And the truck routes to the north and south of the corridor, which is 159th Street and Route 6 to the south, are full of trucks. And now a lot of truck drivers are trying to navigate the area without going on those two main roads, and they're taking this street, and they don't want that. So we don't want they don't want higher speeds in there. They don't want more trucks in there, and they want the right of way to stay where it is, because there's a lot of historical properties in there and structures. I think some of them are registered on the National Register of Historic Places, but that's another discussion. So they want to leave everything the way it is. And I've been doing site development and highway work for 35 years all over the country. I've seen it all. This will be fine the way it is with some tweaks. And some of the tweaks that I mentioned at the meeting we had with the locals last Friday night, was it?
Yeah.
Was to improve sight distance on corners, lower the speed limit signs. We got to put in hidden driveway signs. And as far as drainage goes, the open ditches are highly more efficient than sewers. There's less maintenance costs for that, and I would leave it the way it is. And Homer Glen, if they don't agree with me, the township and the road district should not support them, because they're going to change the whole character of the corridor, and that's not what we want to do. So that's basically it in a nutshell. My interpretation of the pavement, this is not taking cores, this is from walking the alignment and looking at the condition of it visually, is that it's got at least another 5 to 10 years before you need to do anything with it. It's got a pozzolanic powder in it, which is a concrete byproduct, which extends the life of the pavement. It's not like asphalt, which lasts 20, 25 years and falls apart. So this pavement, I don't know if you guys have ever driven on it, but all you see is some black lines from the crack filling that they've done in the last 5 years, and everything else looks fine. I did not see any base failures in the pavement, which is the beginning of pavement failure. I didn't see any of that. So, to me, these improvements can be put off for a while, and the tweaks can be done and should be left alone just the way it is. So, we'll see what happens at the village. Of course, the road district can only take it over if the village doesn't want to do it, and they would have to approve it for us. Or they'd have to de-annex the whole corridor and the properties, but
And
that's everything.
we have a similar problem in Lockport, but the road commissioner remedied that with speed bumps. And, you know, the trucks are going through Lockport, and we're trying to find ways to stop them. And the road commissioner is working on that all the time, different ways to reroute them, because they're not going the right ways. But this has been going on since we took office. We had a task force for that. Remember that, Mike?
Yes, I do.
So Mike and Brent were heading up there, and Mark Arwen were heading that task force up. But it's, you know, these trucks, they go down your street and they get lost, and they go in your subdivision and rip it up. You know, they run over your grass, hit your cars, hit the mailboxes, because they don't belong there. But anyway, Brent's got this under.
And another thing, let's remember, all of the other roads out here are just like it. You drive on South Bell, you drive on Bruce, you drive on 163rd, they're all identical. You don't need to change it. And of course, because it has narrow parkways, there's no sidewalk. So if kids want to walk along the road, you know, that's a dicey situation too. But at lower speeds, they have more of a chance of safety than if they increase the speed up to 45, which is what they want to do. So that's my spiel.
Thank you, Brent. And the next is the Welter property. This is an interesting situation, again, with the Village of Homer Glen. Our board voted to fix the wrong that was created by people in charge back 25 years ago. So the property at the Welter farm was zoned E1. And prior to that, when the county had it, it was, when the township had it, when it was unincorporated, it was A1. So when the village took over, they said it had to be housing there, E1, estate housing. Now, everybody, everywhere, thought that that was what was called open space. And the only thing open space could be is for farming. That's what everybody thought. But it's not a fact. That was an open space. And so when I said, all right, our board voted to make it open space, they said, well, that's fine, but we have to have a text amendment to change Village of Homer Glen law to allow farming on it. Because I said, if we can't get farming on it by right, then the township can't do it, because otherwise, what's going to, all that farming will have to be removed, and it'll go to weeds. So you can't have, you know, I'm just letting everyone know, the perception that everyone had about the Welter Farm being open space was not correct, but because everyone believed it, the township board said, all right, let's give everybody what they wanted, and then we take it to the village, and it's not as easy as one would think to make it open space. I figured they just vote on it at the board and that'd be the end of it. But the farming part, so now what happened is they gave us, at the planning commission, they gave us a text amendment that allows for farming on it now. But it has to get voted by the village board. And the meeting was about, I want to say, 2.5 hours long. And a lot of stuff went down about that text amendment. They had a lot of questions. So I got a feeling when it gets to the board, there may be problems. But I want everyone to notice, listening to this video, that the township is doing their best to revert all the stuff back to what it was supposed to be, at least what the people believed it should be. So, and this is a representative democracy, because I was asked a couple of times, why is the township doing this? And I said, because it's a representative democracy, and we represent all those people, and all those people really believe that this was open space, and they want it to be open space, so we're going to make it open space. So it's a real simple reason. But again, it should have been where they just said, yeah, this is just cool. We're doing what the people want. But no, it didn't work out like that. And I'm hoping at the board meeting that it passes, but if it doesn't, I don't want anyone to come back at the township and say we didn't try, because we did. You know, it's really important to know that. And none of these properties were zoned open space. None of the ones that people think are open space, they've never been zoned that way, and they have no restrictions on the deeds. So whatever was done, I don't want to go back in history and rehash all the garbage that went down, but the bottom line is that we are going back in time and making it right, the best of our ability. So with that, if anyone got any questions about the Welter Farm?
No.
Okay. And we'll move on to the Highway Commissioner's report.
Thank you, Steve. All right, I'll try and make this quick, everybody. Smith Road Long Run Creek Bridge over on the west side of Lockport at the west end of the township. It's a very bad bridge, it's in very bad shape. It's so bad that we're afraid over the next 3 years while we're waiting to get this job constructed, there may be failures in the bridge. So we're keeping trucks off of the bridge, and we have posted sheriffs down the street keeping trucks off the bridge. So it's very bad. And every time there's a winter and there's salt, it gets worse and it gets worse. It's like Swiss cheese. So anyways, because of the high cost of replacing the bridge, Lockport Township Road Commissioner Jim Lausch and I and Ben Benson from the city of Lockport got together, and the three of us are sharing the cost of the engineering for the bridge. They have started phase 1, which is the study part of it, and that's gonna take maybe 18 months to 24 months for that. So right now, they've made their initial inspection, and I asked the consultant to provide temporary bridge shoring options to help support the bridge, because construction, like I said, isn't happening until 2025 or after, and I'm waiting for that. Item 2, the roadway paving program. Meter Road was completed, Bruce Road was completed, and Gauger Road was completed and striped. They look pretty nice. If you ever drive that way, take a peek. Deconstruction did a good job. We basically did a mill and overlay. We ripped out all the old asphalt down to the base. We put in all new asphalt. We put in new stone shoulders, and we striped it. It'll be good for another 10 years plus. The striping is redone usually every 3 to 4 years when we do a seal coat. So I'll be doing a final walkthrough with the contractor this month to get him paid. The roadway lighting program for 2023 is, it was awarded a number of months ago, but because of the lead time on light poles and standards, we have to wait until this month to get work going. They're supposed to be starting this month. They should be done by the end of the year. And what this is we're replacing all the bad lights. Any lights that aren't a Cobra head LED light, we replace it, and all of the hardware with it. And we have standard poles that we're putting in, 25 feet high. So when we have attic stock, it's easy to fix things in the future instead of having all types of different Frankenstein setups, which is all over the township, which we're standardizing. Next year, we're going to look into solar lights where we have dark areas where there's not electricity available. That's another program we're looking into for next year. The roadway striping program, we restriped, I think, up over 5 miles of road in the township. That is done. We're going to be doing a final walkthrough on that this month. The Highway Commissioner's Special Needs Grant is still open. There was issues with it on the Highway Department's website. Our buddy Michael Grondek over here fixed the issue. So we have an online form now where you can go right online and fill it in. It's for any special needs adults that have graduated high school and are over the age of 18 and live in Homer Township. A $5,000 grant for them. The Muslim Ummah Cemetery off of Meter Road, it's kind of silent right now, but we did do an inspection of their driveway that's in our right-of-way, and it failed a number of items of mine. I sent a letter out to the owner telling them to fix it, and they're supposed to be fixing it this month. Once it's fixed, they don't have any more rights to use my roadways with their equipment. Let's see here. Because under the county permit, they finished the road that was permitted. And by the way, we're going to be putting in no parking signs along Meter Road near that cemetery, because it's going to generate a lot of traffic whenever, if it ever gets up and goes on. We have an ordinance being written by the council that's going to provide teeth to it, so we can either tow or fine whoever parks along Meter Road. It's only a 22-foot wide road, so obviously if you park on it, there's a problem. People are going to start playing chicken to try to get down the street. It's two-way, but it's going to turn into a one-way if people are parked on both sides. So that's coming. We bought the signs already. We're going to install them as soon as the ordinance is written by council. What's next? The salt. We have over 250 tons in our on our site under our salt dome that we have. We probably only used about 300 tons last year. Nevertheless, we have a 2-year contract for blended salt for the year, so we have plenty of stuff on reserve. Because I hear from the Environmental Almanac, we're going to have a bad winter. Hope we don't. We only had like 5 events last year for plowing, so that was good. Lastly, Trantina Farm clay fill project. We're waiting for the EPA NOI to be processed, and we're going to go and get more clay. We got about 2,000 yards that was delivered for free, and I'm waiting for a check from the contractor on that. And we're looking for more free clay fill to be brought in, sorry for my English, under the new EPA NOI. I'm expecting that in October. So if anybody knows anyone that has clay projects or excavation projects in the area, please let me know, or let them know that they can dump locally at the Trantina Farm starting in October. And have them contact me in my office. And that's everything I have.
And thank you, Brent. The assessor has no report. And next we go to trustee and committee reports. The senior task force, Mike Bonomo.
Okay, well, I obviously have something to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a big event coming up this Saturday, but we'll start off by tomorrow. We do have the senior bingo at Cross the Glory, which we hold every month. But the big day is Saturday. Hadley Junior High was nice enough to grant us a second year of holding our senior lifestyle expo at their school. And again, we can't thank them enough. Tim Russ, who is the groundskeeper, has really given us carte blanche and given us everything we've asked for. And with the help of all the volunteers, task force, with Angel, Cindy, everyone at this table, everyone in the audience, Jay, Jim, Dan, Mark, I mean, we can't thank enough. This community has bonded together to make this a great event. And as Vicki mentioned earlier, we need volunteers. So we're looking for high school students if they want to get in volunteer hours, but it gives them a chance to work within the community. And, you know, the benefit is to see the reactions of all the people after the job is done. You know, me and Angel and Cindy do this because we see the reactions of the seniors when we do the bingos and all the events that we put together for them. You know, you know, they're the foundation of this community and we want to reward them. And I think we do a great job doing that. With Saturday, the expo starts at 10 o'clock. Right now we have about 44 vendors.
50.
We do have, okay, my goal was 50 and we hit it. We have 50 vendors lined up for the expo. It's in range from health, food, entertainment, retail, you name it. Everyone who represents Homer Glen and the surrounding communities are going to be there. Last year we had 250 seniors walk through. We expect that and more this year. It's a free event, free admission. The parking accommodations are going to be great. We're going to have actually 2 golf carts available to us thanks to Jay Rohde and Karen Rohde. So that will allow the seniors to have essentially transportation to the front door without having to walk. So within ourselves, we're doing everything we can to make this an enjoyable event for them. When they leave, the last thing I want to hear out of their mouth is, I can't wait till next year, because we expect to improve it. So with that being said, you know, I don't know if Angel wants to say anything, or Vicki, or anybody at this board, but I think you know, we put a lot of hard work into it, but the reward is the reaction, and it gives us more incentive to do it next year. So that's my report.
And Mike, you're looking for adults also, correct?
Oh yeah, the kids, you know, the kids for the enthusiasm and the energy and all. From an adult standpoint, you know, there was some labor involved with setting up the tables and, you know, getting when the vendors come to help them in and out and everything. So there was a lot of movement. You know, the adults for the coordination, the kids, you know, being able to point and tell them where to go makes things a little bit easier on us. But yeah, we'll take anybody that's willing to help out. So anyone who's listening, volunteer-wise, feel free. And the other thing too, you know, we are going to have grad bags for the seniors. If you have anything that you want to bring to us, that you want us to hand out to the seniors, we're more than welcome. We'll accept it, no problem there. But again, this is for the seniors. It's their day, and again, our goal is when they leave to be happy, and that's something we're really proud of. Thank you.
And thank you, Mike. Now we move on to the Special Needs Committee. Angel or Brent or Mike, you got any?
Go first.
Brent pretty much covered it. Mike fixed the application for the grant, and so far, nothing. And the only feedback I've gotten has been, there were too many requirements, but there are no requirements. There's literally nothing on there except for must be 18 years of age or older, and I think
Gotta have special needs.
you have to.
Did you fill out a form of your name and address, and, you know,
Some
a couple
people
things?
have mentioned that it says that you need to have graduated high school.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no requirements. The person that made that comment was entirely wrong. They thought it was like 500 words, it's 500 letters, and, you know, it's...
The thing is,
there's no-
I'm not really sure, you know,
I don't know.
I haven't gotten, I did talk to the people at Jewel, hopefully, but we haven't had any applications. So if anybody knows anybody that can really benefit from this, please
And it's really
Ask
easy
them to fill it
now.
out.
The way
It's
Mike
super
set it
easy.
up, you can type in right on the screen. You don't have to mail anything in or anything like that. And obviously, you have to prove the kid has special needs. I mean, that's probably the toughest part of it. You get a letter from the doctor and just give it to us. Or if you have the high school IEP, just hand that, because that shows that you have special needs as well. Either way, just, you can work with me, give me a call, my number's on there if you have questions. $5,000, it's not chicken feed, that's a lot of money to help them, on their journey to a job or help with other things that they have issues with. So I did have a second item. A couple of people have emailed me about transportation for special needs adults. And this is something that I've struggled with in the past. I don't know if any other adults have with special needs kids, but the only thing they have regionally through Will County is the PACE bus service. And every morning before 6 o'clock, you have to call in, get on a list, and pray and hope that you get on the list. If not, you gotta Uber or take time off of work to give transportation to your adult child to work or to the grocery store or to recreational activities. And if you're not at home all day at work, what do the kids do? I don't know. So I said I would reach out tonight and look into it. I know that the seniors have a shuttle through Homer, right? Township?
No, they have dial ride.
Dial-a-ride. Okay, that's kind of like the same thing.
It's the
then.
same type of thing.
Okay.
But the county's working on setting something up that'll be through the entire county, where they call it a mobility manager, and they're talking about doing it for the entire county at once. So you call one number, and they get dispatched out of the county instead of
Okay.
from PACE itself, I guess. But we're in the process right now of setting it up, and it's in the early stages. We just had 2 meetings on it at the county,
Okay.
so it's starting to move forward.
Okay, and I did reach out to Nicole Laha, she's the past chairman or the current chairman of the Ability Awareness Committee in Homer Glen. And I asked her if we could come over there and talk in front of their committee to solicit, people that could pursue the grant. Or we also should be talking with them about division of scope of what we can do that they don't do. You know what I'm saying, on the township side.
The feedback I've gotten has been more that we work more with adults and they work more with the younger kids. So those are the differences I see. Also,
Okay.
I was just thinking about this, maybe I can reach out to Lockport Township High School, maybe Bob McBride or, the superintendent could help us out, because there are kids that are actually in a program that go to the central campus, not the east campus, that are, that come out, they're graduating, they're 18, 19, 20. It takes them a little bit longer to graduate,
Mhm.
but maybe they would be able to reach out to some of the former graduates that graduated in the last couple of years for us. Do you think that would help?
Yes, of course. I know the Special Olympics coaches at Lockport, the 2 of them, have been there for a long time, and they've had a lot of kids, and they're excellent. They've had a lot of kids graduate through the Special Olympics program. So, they have an extensive database of people that live locally that could be reached out to. I don't know what the transparency rules are for that. If we could get
Well,
emails
we
and
can't
addresses,
get
but
information, but they could certainly provide our information. That's what I'm thinking.
that's the better route.
What
You know,
about
so I'll just give it
What
to
about
them.
churches?
what about the gentleman we had talking here from Lincoln Way Special Rec, and what about, did you ever reach out to them? I can't remember, one was Lincoln
We had
Way, what's the
touched
other one?
base, it's the Lincoln Way Rec Center, but
Yeah,
they.
there was 2 of them though.
Yeah, we had mentioned it, but this is for Homer Township residents.
No, they take care of Homer Township also.
I know, I'm
Yeah.
just saying, but we haven't gotten any.
So we
Yeah,
should be
they've been
reaching
some
out
Not younger kids.
for things like that, for the grant and for looking into transportation
Right.
through some of the high schools and local recreational programs. We should start doing
All
that.
right, well, I'll put a call into Lockport tomorrow. to the
Just,
high school.
I'll follow up with Joshua Osters at the Lockport High School, because I contacted him, he's the special needs director there, so
Perfect.
I'll see if he's made any.
So Mr. Wolf, W-O-L-F, and Miss Urbanski, those are the two Special Olympics directors. And they know who I am, and they know Christian very well. And, tell them that, we'd like to provide them with a flyer or even a link to what it's all about.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
I'll
saying?
email them the link and ask them
And
to.
say that if you know any parents of, kids that have just graduated, that still live locally, just spread the word. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, then we have the Land Use Committee, and we didn't have any land use issues this month, so there's no report on that. And then Founders Crossing Task Force, that's what we just we talked about. Do you have anything else on Founders Crossing Task Force?
No, I mean, the guys have been really good. Everybody's been really happy. Their stuff's been getting done, and the guys have been getting complimented left and right that that
That's
everything's
good.
getting taken care of, and there's, right away, so that's a good thing.
That's what we want.
That's what we want to see.
Okay, then we're gonna go to county. Motion to approve all payment of bills for August 2023, Founders Crossing Bond, Founders Crossing General, General Assistance, Open Space, Park Developer Contribution, Park Town, Road and Bridge, and Equipment and Building. Need a motion to approve the bills.
This is the motion.
I'll second the motion.
I'll take a roll call. Trustee Bonomo?
Yes.
Trustee Shay?
Yes.
Trustee Rivera?
Yes.
Supervisor Ballich?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Thank
Okay,
you.
so now we're moving to new business, and I had a new business item, and the one we had was item
C,
Uh,
7C.
what one?
7C.
7C, and that was to motion to approve the RFQ for architectural and engineering services for the Trantina Farm Center.
That's the motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
I'll take a roll call. Trustee Rivera?
Yes.
Trustee Bonomo?
Yes.
Trustee Shay?
Yes.
Supervisor Ballich?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
Okay, then I had an item for new business, and it's an important one, so I want you trustees to pay real close attention because it affects us a real lot. I've been working on approximately a year with the Village of Homer Glen to transfer land that would be beneficial to them, and land beneficial to the township, to us. And it would square things off so there would be no zigzag lines and none of this stuff, but it would be beneficial to both parties. So we got to the tail end. I've been working with Joe Baber and Melissa and Carmen Morella when he was the village manager. And so I was told to call up the mayor, and I met with the mayor and went over everything, and she said that it wasn't a good deal for the village, and she said she wanted nothing to do with it. And so I explained to her why it was a good deal for both sides. And what it was is we have a little over 5 acres of land on the behind the football field going west of the blue building there. And the village was going to take that. And then there's a small parcel on 151st Street in front of our road district, and a larger parcel more to the east. And right now they have to bring their equipment around, all around the block, to cut the grass there, because that's all they can do with it. There's nothing really you could put there. And so we cut the grass by ours, they cut the grass by theirs. We got to take our truck over the other side over there. So anyway, there was a lot more to it, but just to give you an idea, how it would have saved a lot of time and effort just in maintenance costs. But the mayor said no, and then I said, does that mean I should stop everything? Because I've been getting legal descriptions and doing all the work to make this go through. I thought it was a done deal, but she said no. So again, but there was no vote on the board, and I didn't see it on the agenda. And I don't understand why there was no vote on the board before she says no, but she said no, which is okay. I'm not gonna get all flustered about it. You know, that's the way it is. It's been like that for a long time, so it stays the same. But where the troubling thing comes in at, she announces that she's going to dissolve the township with the municipality, and tells me she's talked to 3 cities, Lamont, New Lenox, and Lockport, and to have them engage with the village of Homer Glen to eliminate the township. Well, I said, well, you realize that there's a lot of money involved with just doing what you said, and also, every time somebody's tried what you're talking about, it's been deemed unconstitutional in McHenry County, and they just tried it in Harrisburg, wherever the heck that is, down south, and it failed. And now it's coming here. So, you know, I'm like, what do I do about that? You know, there's a lot of issues going on at our township. It's like anywhere else. But unilaterally, the mayor tells me, well, she's going to take it over. Well, I think to myself, well, what are we going to do about it? So I called the attorney, talked with my attorney. I talked to the Township of Illinois, and I talked to some other lawyers that I know from the county. And everyone I talked to says it's virtually impossible to do. But they could do it because they changed the law. And what's happening with their law is there's a thing called Dillon's Law, which says that if it's not expressed, the whole thing has to be expressed in the language of the bill. And it's not. She's inventing language to go in it. And so are these other people. Now, I talked to the mayor of Lockport, and he says, yeah, well, if it looks like we can make money off you guys doing it, we're going to do it. Mayor Homer Glen, she thinks it's going to bring them a lot of money, because what will happen is Homer Glen, if they can pull this off, Homer Glen will get this building. It'll get all the unincorporated land will become Homer Glen. There won't be unincorporated no more. She'll be able to take all the unincorporated land. So people that do not want to be in the village because they don't want rules, regulations, and high taxes are going to be forced into the village. So you're going to have a whole group of people like that. Then you're going to have pretty much what would look on a map like a land grab, because you're going to have everything on the boundary of Homer Glen that's unincorporated become Homer Glen, and everything on the Lockport side become Lockport. So there will be no unincorporated. And then the question is, how the heck does it get to this state where one person can decide for a whole city, for a whole board? I mean, we have problems with the township. We have people that don't like some of the stuff we do. And I'm sure if they were in charge, I wouldn't like some of the stuff they do. But I sure in heck wouldn't be calling to get rid of them because I want all their stuff. And I would never, I talked earlier about trying to remedy sins of the past by making the Welter Farm open space. They're trying to create something that nobody even dreamed of. All the unincorporated here would no longer exist. And then I have to ask people the question, what does Homer Glen do for you? Other than give you a property tax that's probably going to go up, and a road tax that's probably going up because they're unionizing their road district. They're unionizing their maintenance crews, so they're going to have to pay more money. But I've got a list of all the money, which you already said. You got a list. This lady here was talking about what they make, how much money everyone makes.
Not just recently, I did this before, and I got one I could understand from them and one that
Yeah, I
took a
know what
lot
you
of work
meant.
from you. Because all of your salaries and everything come out of my pocket
I can't
too.
wait to see ours, because the Village of Homer Glen salaries right now, before any increases, right now, they're not quite double what our salaries are.
Well, actually, some of them are more than double.
Some are more, like,
Right.
I mean, some are more than double.
Right.
But when you're talking about trying to say that you're gonna save money, I will give you a chance to speak now in a minute, because I know you're a trustee for the village and you deserve the right to speak. But I just want to make sure everybody knows that when an official that's not supposed to be a strong mayor form of government acts like it's a strong mayor form of government, then sooner or later, you're going to have a problem with that. Sooner or later, you're going to have a problem because this township is not going to lay down, and there's going to be a fight and a half. Because I'm not going to let the people in the unincorporated area down at all, never. Just like we're going to fight all the way for those people on Hadley Road. We're not stopping. And we're going to win. So, God bless her. Dan, you wanted to say
I just
something?
want to say, it's taken about 2 years for us to get at the level we were at in the township and the village getting along and things going very smoothly. The reason I wanted to comment though, when we said that salaries are double, you don't mean for the trustees, because
No.
you're talking staff, so I wanted that to be clear to the
You're
public.
correct.
You're talking about staff salaries, because our trustees are making $6,000 a year, and we spend a lot of time, so there isn't much money that is spent when it comes to elected officials. It's staff you're speaking of on the village side, and then the township side, it would be double the salaries cost to
Right.
staff on the village side compared to staff on the township side, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
I'm sorry, you know what, I should have clarified that, Dan, you're right.
Because I know we don't make anything.
No, the,
It's not for the time you put in. For the time.
no,
Do you owe me?
I was talking about the staff, like Dan said, he corrected me, and I thank him very much, because he's 100% right. But the cost, the change, the township to the village, it's gonna be hard to put an exact number on how high it's gonna go, but it's gonna go. But I don't have much more to say except for one thing, and this is why I said I want you trustees to really pay attention. Because with this being said, I was told by a bunch of lawyers, and that means it's their opinion, it doesn't mean it's the correct thing to do, that we should consider disconnecting all of our township property from the village of Homer Glen. That would be the Welter Farm, that would be the Trantina Farm, that would be the road district, that would be the room right here, that would be anything we own. We should disconnect from the village of Homer Glen, since they don't want to work with us and they don't want us, they want to dissolve us. The attorneys that I talked to suggested that I start the procedures to disconnect all township property. And I don't want to be doing something like that without you guys really thinking about it, because that's an important move. When we do that, that's something, you're talking a reaction to something, and I don't like to react to things, but you know, when attorneys tell you that that's probably what your first step should be.
Does that mean unincorporated areas can disconnect too?
It
Well,
would be
they're already
incorporated, anybody in the village of Homer Glen.
So we're talking about our land. Now, if people are listening and they say, well, it's not fair that you can disconnect, we want to. Well, if they can organize a group of people in their neighborhoods to start a disconnection process, that's possible too. But that township isn't having anything to do with that thing. I mean, it was already done once before, where somebody had disconnected a couple large pieces out of Homer Glen, subdivisions. So if somebody wants to disconnect their subdivision, that's up to them. You know, they can go through the process, but I'm talking about having us think about it. Do we want to do that or not? And so we'll talk about that more next month. And during the month, you can call me one-on-one, not two people, one. Anyway, with that, we will move on.
Can we, discussion?
We have a little discussion.
Hold on a minute.
Oh, I thought you were telling me to stop.
No.
She wants to, she can talk.
All right, go ahead, discussion.
Wait, go ahead, Brett, you want to say something?
So the road district is kind of a separate entity than the township, and the state rules are pretty clear and defined. You can't dissolve a road district unless you're under 5 miles, period. That's the only way it'll ever happen. It's been like that for almost 200 years. Many people have a petition to do it. It never works. So I'm going on record of saying that it will never happen with the road district, because we have over 20 miles of roads, and I don't see anybody annexing any of my roads anytime soon for new developments or anything like that. So the road district is pretty much protected. There's only been one case in the last 20 years in Illinois that I'm aware of where a road district was dissolved, and it was less than 5 miles, and it was a disaster because the municipalities didn't want to take it over. They gave it to the county, and the county didn't want to take it over, and the people didn't want to raise taxes for it, so it was a complete disaster, and now they're trying to reinvent another road district to take it over. So it's only happened once, but it's got to be less than 5 miles. It'll never happen for the road district.
I
Never.
know this is out of court, no one really asks questions because people are watching. You mean to say that if they dissolve the road district, the village of Homer Glen just doesn't take those roads over?
It's either to the county or the village. And the thing there is, the average staff, if they're unionized at the Public Works, is much, much higher than the road district salaries. And that's one thing you gotta think of is, you know, all of the taxes that Homer Township and the road district have on the people of Homer Glen right now, it's not like they're gonna go away. The road district tax has been there since the beginning. It's not gonna change, it wouldn't change at all, but there's more to it than that. It's not apples and apples, it's apples and oranges. And the oranges would be the new Homer Glen staff that are at an average much higher rate than the staff for the township. So on behalf of the road district, the unions are different at the Public Works for the village of Homer Glen than they are for the road district. Much, much more pay if they organize and get this deal done. So it'll cost the taxpayers even more money. But regardless, the road district isn't going to get dissolved anytime soon. That's all I had to say. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so a couple things. Steve, obviously, if you're saying that that's like the option to dissolve and disassociate the township from the village, you have to do that because it's not fair to the people that have been unincorporated the whole entire time to just get taken over, because that's what happened to all of us. You tell me, what services did the village provide to anybody? Nothing. It provides me a higher tax bill, and this is to address, is this Shirley? This is to address you, just to give you like maybe an easier way to look at it. Vicki will get you like all the salaries and everything, but I just want to make a suggestion.
Make it easier, that's
The
all.
best thing that you can do is go and grab your last tax bill, look at the township charge for your tax bill.
I'm aware.
Right, and then look at the village, and then look at the money we're giving to the village, and then think about this, because this is what I can't figure out. Somebody tell me what services I'm getting from being incorporated, because I got sucked into that. I didn't vote for it, right? We didn't have a choice, it obviously passed. But all they've done is stuck us with a water bill for, you know, $300 a month. That doesn't include your garbage or anything else like other villages have. We still don't have a park district. I just want to know what I'm getting out of the village. I want other people to know. Somebody tell me, you know, because the mayor did ask me, she said, what does the township do? What services do you provide? So now I would like to know, and maybe Dan can answer this because Dan's here and I hate to put you on the spot, but please, somebody tell me what services the village is providing to us so I know why my taxes are so high and what exactly, other than fun events, which you obviously, you know, help with. But, I mean, we provide senior services. We provide services when people can't afford their bills, right? People come to us when there's an emergency and they can't pay a
Angel,
utility
can I
bill.
interrupt you for a second? One thing, water would never change. That's under FPA. So if you have Illinois American Water, that would still be Illinois American Water. And if you have well and septic, that's what they have. But one of the things that I neglected to say that you benefit from the village for is excessive rules, lots of regulations. So when you want to do something, your own property that you own, you have to go to the village, and they usually say no unless you get a variance, which costs you some money. And then you have to go through a waiting time to get it. So what you just asked Dan, you have
Yeah, you
rules,
can't cut the
regulations,
tree
and
down.
property taxes that constantly go up.
They won't cut the tree down, that's between my neighbor's house and my house, and it's out on the easement part, but the tree is tearing up my neighbor's driveway, which has been tearing up my neighbor's driveway, and they've already had it replaced. We have to have ours replaced now, because this tree is coming into our section, and guess what? That's all taken care of by the village, and you know how I know that? Because we've called it a zillion times. So I just want to know, I would love somebody to tell me what services the village is providing me.
To answer your question though, just to kind of take me off of being on the spot, as you know, I sit on that board and I fight against a lot of those.
Oh, I know you do.
regulations. I was not in favor of us even incorporating when this happened 22 years ago. I am on that board because of regulations, because of things that take place there, the fines that people get for doing things without a permit. That is what I'm there for, is to fight against those things. I'm not there to put the burden on
The taxpayer.
the taxpayer.
Right, no.
I am there to help relieve the burden of the taxpayer. And anybody that watches our village board meetings knows that I do that.
And thank you, because you have done an excellent job at standing up for the people of Homer Glen.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to put you on the spot. I just thought since you're sitting here, you could tell us what actual services the village is providing to the people, so the people will know. Because I don't know, so I can't give that answer. Besides fun stuff, like I agree, we get fun stuff from the village.
I'll ask the mayor to put a list together
That
for
would
you
be
by
awesome.
our meeting on Wednesday.
Thank you.
You have something, Mike?
Yeah, I'd like to say something real quick. I said, when we were all elected, it's been, what, 3 years ago now? Or a little close to 3 years ago, as a group. You know, we ran with the village, we ran with the township, with the whole group of people. And our goal was to work together as a team. And for the first 2 years, it was fun. We had a great organization, great group of people. You know, George Yukich was the mayor of Homer Glen, but he really never got in the way. He allowed the board to make their decisions on their own, and he allowed us to work together. He didn't dictate to the board on how they should make their decisions. You know, you have Jay Rodison who ran for the village board. He still helps. I mean, he puts in more time than anybody I know with him and his wife with the village. I gotta say, Jimmy Shake with his wife Angel, who came on board with the village, or with the township, I'm sorry, spends a lot of time in the township, what a lot of people don't know, her own free time, and works and helps out Vicky and everybody in the office. Steve, you know, and you know, does work with him. Dan Fialco, he's a village trustee. I could call him, anyone on this board can call him up and ask him a favor, he would do it to help the township, which means he's helping the people of Homer Glen. You know, enough said. Rob does what he can in terms, you know, he's limited with his kids, with his work and everything, but he puts in the time. He does, anybody on this board will do anything they can to help this township and the village. You know, Carmen Morella has 6 kids. You could call him at any time, and he'll give you the arm off his shoulder, his body to help you. You know, I mean, there was nobody in our group that wouldn't help. Mike Ondick just came on board. Call him at any time. He's willing to help. I mean, as soon as they got on board, he was willing to help us with the
IT stuff.
with the IT
no
stuff,
charge,
with
no charge.
no charge.
Just helping
And
us.
that's the whole thing. When you look at what we do for the township, with the seniors alone, the time that's put in between Angel, myself, Cindy, and all the volunteers, Rosie, who provides food almost at every bingo and stuff, and then you know we go out and get food from vendors in the area and stuff. It's free. It's our time. I mean, I'm driving in from the city to go to the bingo. It takes time away from my job, but I'm willing to do it because again, the reaction of the seniors when we do what we do for them is you can't put a price tag on that. And to take that away from us, to say that they want to dissolve the township for all the hard work we put in for the last 3 years, shame on them. To even make that comment, throw it out there. We've never done anything to alienate the village or anybody in the community. We've always fought hard to do things right. Some people may think it's been wrong, but again, you take the open space, for example, the whole campaign against us for that, then you find out it was an open space. Now we're trying to make it a right, maybe the signs will go up saying, thank you, Homer Township, for trying to make that open space, which is what we thought it was a year ago. And all the backlash we got from that, you know, I couldn't tell you. And, you know, we get hate mail, we get, you know, which we never put out to say. And again, we strap our belt, we raise our head, and we do what we do. And we're proud of it. And that's what I have to say.
Anybody else? You guys got a comment?
Do you want anything to say?
Sure, I'd like to say something. I moved here to Homer Glen not knowing a lot of things, but I have never seen in the community that I came from or that I've lived in before, people here, not just here, people here don't know how to work together. They think, this group thinks that only the Republican Party, and you, sir, have said, even though you're an elected trustee, you said on a Facebook page that it doesn't matter if you think it's wrong, you made a promise to support the Republican Party and how that is. I actually am a registered Republican. You, sir, bullied me. Because you were talking about democratic way of life when I first came, or tonight you said a democratic vote. You passed a resolution for sanctuary, that we're sanctuary, and I get very confused. I'm not sure if we're sanctuary village or sanctuary township or what the heck we're sanctuary. But you passed that with 500 votes out of 39,000. Nobody came to me and asked. You gathered it at a few of your churches, and that's all. You don't do it so that everyone is represented. Excuse me, I'm talking. That everything is represented. And you told me,
I'm sorry, I understand you have something you want to talk about. Please, we'll address that later with Steve. We have a meeting right now. We're in the middle of this meeting.
The lawyer said that
And
we
let's-
can't talk about what you're talking about.
Right.
That we're on an agenda item, and we normally don't even have people from the audience talking, but the audience,
Right, I
he just told me
understand.
that.
Yeah, so let's-
Yep, we're talking right now, the topic is dissolution of the township. So we can't go off into a different tangent.
Right.
And so, I'm just telling you, but anyway, we're gonna move on, I think. You guys don't have any more to say?
I'm done.
Okay. That's
You
it.
have anything, Mike? Or no?
You know, I'm pretty new to this board, but it's pretty clear to see that there's a lot going on here, a lot of debates between the township and the village, and they made promises, this new party, Integrity Party, said they're gonna lower taxes, and said every move they're doing is raising taxes for unincorporated. They made promises to lower the water bill. How come they're not working on lowering the water bill? So, I don't know, this Integrity Party, I see no integrity what's going on over there. Something seriously wrong with this party.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for comments, and then we'll talk about this during the month.
No, so we're done. No, we're done. We're moving on. We're gonna go on to, we're gonna move on.
Yeah, public comment was earlier.
Yes.
The board did entertain.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Yes,
it
is.
doesn't need to be, to discuss a topic germane to something to the township. Doesn't, only if you vote on it, does it have to be an action item on the agenda. But they're on topic on something, they entertain a couple comments from the resident. It's not public comment, it's at the discretion of the chair of the meeting to move on. So he's done so, that's Robert's rules.
Okay. Old business, we have the micro pantry, and they're up and running, and we're looking for people to donate food. There's one right out here, and there's one on 151st Street in Golden Oak, and on 143rd in Golden Oak by Billy Malley's Salon. And with that one, we don't need executive session, and we have nothing else, so motion to adjourn.
I'll start the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, motion passes. Thank you.